Mercury is the fastest planet in the solar system. Mercury orbits the Sun at an average speed of 47 kilometers per second, completing one full trip a year in just 88 Earth days. This speed earned it the name of the Roman messenger god, Mercury, who was known for his swiftness. Despite this, a single day on Mercury one full rotation lasts 59 Earth days, meaning a day there is almost 2/3 of its year. Extreme temperature swings, hotter than an oven, colder than Antarctica. With no atmosphere to trap heat, Mercury's surface temperatures swing wildly. During the day, temperatures soar to 430 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead, while at night, they plummet to -180 degrees Celsius, colder than Antarctica. This 1,100-degree difference is the most extreme in the solar system. Mercury has ice hidden in permanent shadows. Despite being the closest planet to the Sun, Mercury has water ice in permanently shadowed craters near its poles. These regions, like those in crater Chao-Mengfu, never receive sunlight due to Mercury's minimal axial tilt. NASA's MESSENGER mission confirmed this ice in 2012, likely delivered by comet impacts. It's shrinking. Mercury is slowly shrinking as its massive iron core cools and contracts. This has created lobate scarps, cliff-like ridges up to 1,000 kilometers long and 3 kilometers high that crisscross its surface. Think of it like a raisin wrinkling as it dries, but on a planetary scale. Mercury has a surprisingly strong magnetic field. For such a small planet, Mercury has a global magnetic field about 1% the strength of Earth's. This field, generated by its partially molten iron core, deflects solar wind and creates a protective mini-magnetosphere. Scientists are still puzzled by how such a small planet maintains this feature. A giant impact created its massive core. Mercury's core makes up 85% of its radius compared to Earth's 55%. One theory suggests a colossal collision with another planet-sized object 4.5 billion years ago stripped away much of its rocky mantle, leaving behind a disproportionately large core. Mercury has a comet-like tail. Mercury sports a faint, comet-like tail of sodium gas particles stretching millions of kilometers into space. This tail is created when solar wind blasts atoms off Mercury's surface. It's visible from Earth with specialized telescopes during certain times of the year. It has a crater the size of Texas. The Caloris Basin, Mercury's largest impact crater, spans 1,550 kilometers in diameter, bigger than the state of Texas. The collision that formed it was so powerful it created hilly terrain on the exact opposite side of the planet, known as the chaotic terrain. Mercury's orbit confused scientists until Einstein. Mercury's orbit shifts slightly over time, a process called precession, which Newtonian physics couldn't fully explain. Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity finally solved the mystery in 1915 by showing how the Sun's gravity warps space-time, altering Mercury's path. It's covered in hollows. Mercury's surface has strange, shiny pits called hollows, which are thought to form when volatile materials like sulfur escape into space, leaving behind bright, crater-like depressions. These features are unique to Mercury and look like the planet is dissolving. A day on Mercury has 2 sunrises. Because Mercury's orbit is elliptical and its rotation slow, the Sun appears to rise, briefly set, then rise again in some locations. In other areas, the Sun stops mid-sky and reverses direction before continuing its path, a phenomenon caused by the planet's odd orbital mechanics. Mercury has no moons or rings. Mercury's proximity to the Sun and weak gravity make it impossible for the planet to hold onto moons or rings. Any object venturing too close would either be torn apart by the Sun's gravity or flung into space. Its surface is darker than the Moon. Despite being covered in gray dust, Mercury reflects less sunlight, low albedo, than the Moon. Scientists believe its surface is darkened by carbon-rich material, possibly from ancient comets and constant bombardment by solar radiation. It's visible from Earth but only at dawn or dusk. Mercury is the hardest planet to spot with the naked eye due to its proximity to the Sun. It appears as a faint star near the horizon just after sunset or before sunrise. Ancient Babylonian astronomers called it the jumping planet for its elusive movements. Mercury is denser than any planet except Earth. Despite its small size, Mercury is incredibly dense. If you could compress it to the size of a golf ball, it would weigh almost as much as a walnut-sized Earth. This density comes from its massive iron core. A year on Mercury is shorter than a year on Earth. Mercury's year 88 Earth days is the shortest of any planet. However, because of its slow rotation, a single day-night cycle there lasts 176 Earth days longer than its year. It's covered in ancient lava plains. Much of Mercury's surface is covered in smooth plains formed by ancient volcanic eruptions. These lava flows filled impact basins billions of years ago, creating flat regions similar to the Moon's Maria. Mercury has a thin exosphere instead of an atmosphere. Mercury's atmosphere, more accurately, an exosphere, is so thin that atoms in it rarely collide. It contains oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, helium, and potassium, all blasted off the surface by solar wind and micrometeorites. It's named after a god but known for thousands of years. Mercury has been observed since at least 3000 BCE by ancient Sumerian astronomers. The Greeks called it Apollo when it appeared in the morning and Hermes in the evening, but it was later unified under the Roman name Mercury. Only 2 spacecraft have visited Mercury. NASA's Mariner 10 1974–1975 and Messenger 2011–2015 are the only missions to study Mercury up close. The European Space Agency's Bepi-Colombo mission, launched in 2018, is currently en route and will arrive in 2025. Mercury is a world of extreme scorching days, freezing nights, a gargantuan core, and a surface scarred by ancient violence. Yet it's also a planet of mysteries, from its magnetic field to its comet-like tail. As the least explored inner planet, Mercury reminds us that even our cosmic neighbors hold secrets waiting to be uncovered. Mercury's magnetic field is off-center. Mercury's magnetic field is not centered on the planet's core but shifted northward by about 20% of the planet's radius. This asymmetry puzzles scientists, as Earth's magnetic field is relatively symmetrical. The European Space Agency's Colombo mission aims to study this anomaly in detail after its 2025 arrival. It has a 3:2 orbital resonance. Mercury rotates 3 times for every 2 orbits around the Sun, a unique ratio called a 3:2 spin-orbit resonance. This means if you stood on Mercury, you'd see the Sun rise, move across the sky, reverse direction briefly, then set a quirky dance caused by its elliptical orbit and slow rotation. Volcanic explosions left pyroclastic deposits. NASA's Messenger mission discovered bright, irregular patches called pyroclastic deposits, evidence of ancient explosive volcanic eruptions. These eruptions likely spewed gases and molten rock into space, a process more violent than the gentle lava flows seen on the Moon. Mercury's surface contains graphite. Parts of Mercury's surface are coated with graphite, the same material in pencils, giving it a darker appearance than the Moon. Scientists think this carbon-rich layer might be remnants of an ancient, primordial crust shattered by impacts. It defied Newtonian physics until Einstein. Mercury's orbit precesses shifts forward slightly each century. Newton's laws couldn't explain this fully, but Einstein's theory of general relativity resolved the mystery by accounting for space-time curvature near the Sun. Mercury's motion became a key proof of Einstein's groundbreaking idea. Colombo's mission to unlock secrets. Launched in 2018, the Colombo mission, a collaboration between Europe and Japan, carries advanced instruments to study Mercury's magnetic field, surface composition, and ice deposits. The spacecraft will endure temperatures over 350 degrees Celsius during its mission. Mercury's exosphere breathes sodium. Mercury's thin exosphere contains sodium atoms that are constantly lost to space and replenished by solar wind and meteorite impacts. This creates a tail detectable from Earth, with fluctuations depending on the planet's distance from the Sun. It has cliffs taller than Earth's Grand Canyon. Enterprise Rupees, a massive cliff on Mercury, stretches over 1,000 kilometers long and rises 3 kilometers high. These scarps formed as the planet's interior cooled and contracted, crumpling the crust like a dried apple. Mercury's core is partially molten. Unlike Earth's solid inner core, Mercury's core remains partially molten. This liquid outer core generates its magnetic field, surprising scientists who once thought small planets couldn't sustain such dynamos. Ancient volatile elements defy expectations. Mercury's surface contains sulfur, potassium, and chlorine elements that usually evaporate in extreme heat. Their presence suggests Mercury either formed in a cooler region of the solar system or retained volatiles through unique geological processes. A day on Mercury has 2 sunrises in some spots. Due to its eccentric orbit and slow rotation, the Sun appears to rise, briefly set, then rise again in certain regions. In other areas, the Sun pauses mid-sky before continuing its path, a phenomenon called the double sunrise effect. It's the second densest planet. Mercury's density is 5.4 grams per cubic centimeter, second only to Earth 5.5 gcm superscript 3. This high density stems from its oversized iron core, which occupies 85% of the planet's radius. Solar radiation pressure pushes Mercury's tail. The Sun's radiation pressure sweeps sodium atoms from Mercury's exosphere into a comet-like tail that extends millions of kilometers. Ground-based telescopes can observe this tail as a faint yellow glow. Mercury's surface reflects radar well. Radar observations in the 1990s revealed bright, radar-reflective patches at Mercury's poles, later confirmed as water ice. These icy deposits survive in permanently shadowed craters, shielded from the sun's blistering heat. It's named for speed but rotates slowly. Though Mercury orbits the Sun rapidly, its rotation is leisurely. A single day there lasts 59 Earth days, meaning if you lived on Mercury, you'd celebrate your birthday every 88 days 1 year but wait nearly 2 months for sunrise. Mercury, a planet of extremes and enigmas, challenges our understanding of planetary formation. From its molten core to its icy poles and Einstein-proving orbit, it's a world where fire and ice coexist and where every discovery raises new questions. As Papai Colombo approaches, we're poised to uncover even more secrets of this swift, scorching, and shrinking world.